A few months ago, I had an unforgettable encounter at the early learning center I run. It was with a remarkable 2-year-old who has been a part of our center for about a year now. And though he had been there for some time, our conversations were sparse because he had only recently begun verbally expressing himself. Now, one particular day stands out vividly. It was this bustling arrival hour one morning at the center when fate arranged a moment for both of us to share. We found ourselves waiting together, and it was in this small window of time that I got a glimpse of this little boy's extraordinary nature. With confidence beyond his years, he looked up at me with his eyes wide open with curiosity, holding my wrist. He uttered, "Auntie, I like the watch you're wearing." I was struck. Imagine a 2-year-old. I was struck not only by his observational skills, but by his ability to notice and appreciate the little details. But it didn't stop there. This pint-sized conversationalist went on further, commenting on the gloomy weather and how humidity apparently made him feel unusually warm. Now, the depth of his words, far beyond what you'd expect from a toddler, just left me in awe. What captivated me the most wasn't just his remarkable capabilities. It was the genuine compassion he showed during these interactions. And it felt as if he had mastered the art of making others feel acknowledged and valued. A skill even many of us as adults struggle to grasp. The significance of this early exposure to positive social interactions was profound. And this child's fluency in communication was not just a testament to his intelligence. It was a reflection of the nurturing environment that surrounded him. And the formative years of his life are being shaped by the adults he's interacting with every day. And this story is an illustration of the impact, the exposure, the environment on our youngest minds can have in contributing to the developing brain architecture. You know, never in our human history have so many resources, so much thought and effort been allocated into the development of mind. In fact, until a human is 21 or so, we often believe that there is little else to do other than study. Well, have you heard this sentence before? The secret to a successful adult life lies in how well you do in school, or how well we do in our tests, or maybe even how well we obtain our grades. And yet, despite all this, it is still very rare to find an adult, a thoughtful adult, who by his or her 40s or earlier does not, at certain moments, look back into their school years and wonder why. Amidst all those study, the discipline, and the devout commitment, we feel somewhat puzzled about the challenges in life. How in those hours of sitting in the classrooms did certain fundamental human lessons, the ones that are important to help us lead a decent life, manage to slip through our hands. And we've been told this repeatedly in our childhood. Perhaps there is no greater priority in childhood than to acquire education. We've been informed to study hard and intelligently so that we ensure a life of comfort, success, and maybe even avoid midlife confusions and regrets. And so we push. We push ourselves so hard with determination and vigor to learn all the lessons that help us successfully navigate around the pitfalls of adult life. There's this one subject that almost certainly has the most to educate us in terms of its capacity to help us navigate around the adult challenges and also guide us towards fulfillment. And it is indeed ironic that this unstudied subject is an important part existence in our childhood. And that missing subject is actually the narrative of our own childhood. Just like I mentioned about this young toddler, his experience would carry forward to how his social interactions in his adulthood are being shaped. So our childhood experiences are very important. It improves our chances to leading a fulfilling adult life. But this is only if we dive deeper into the narratives of our own childhood and the nature of our own childhood. Let me explain. It is a period of our childhood that a dominant share of our adult identity takes shape. Our expectations and responses are formed. By the age of 18, we spend approximately about 20,000 hours in the company of our parents or caregivers. And this time that we spend with them actually shapes our perspectives on relationships, approach to work, ambition, success, particularly whether we embrace or reject who we are. In fact, it even defines how we see happiness and the amount of happiness we deserve. So in our formative years, our childhood might be aptly described as complex. The expectations that are being formed during those early years about our identity, about who we are, about what our relationships can be like, and what the world might want to give us are often shaped very differently when we are young and manifested differently when we are adults. In other words, those expectations may not always align with the ideals of mental health and maturity, and they may sometimes deviate from what would be considered as healthy and well-adjusted. In my time being in the field of education, I very often see a scenario where a child grows up in a home environment, where they are consistently receiving praise and attention only based on their achievements or high grades in school. And as a result, this child might develop an expectation that their worth or value is solely tied to academic success. Now let's fast forward to adulthood. This person may struggle with a fear of failure or may constantly seek validation through achievements because the early experiences have formed misinterpretation that their personal value is exclusively linked to academic performance. And this deviation from a balanced understanding of their self-worth and success could impact their mental health and overall maturity. Now, it's not that someone's intending harm. Instead, certain expectations misguide us in our journey, leaving us in certain aspects less than our full potential and more fearful than practical. For example, in India, a lot of us have internalized the notion that expressing our preferences may not equal to being a respectful person, or that we need to conceal our true interests to be worthy of love. Our childhood experiences, our life experiences shape what we expect things to be like. And they create patterns of behavior that play out without us realizing it in adulthood. And I remember a moment in my adolescence, around the age of 13, when my teacher prompted our class to share our ambitions. And I was eager, very eager to write all my aspirations and goals, and I eagerly listed my top 3 aspirational goals. And just like the others, I wanted to go pin it up on the softboard. Now, all of us in the classroom were excited and curious, and we want to read each other's aspirations and goals, all with the intention to cheer up for each other. And when 3 of my friends, very close friends, read my aspirations, and my best friend responded, "I don't think it's possible for you to achieve such dreams." And the rest of the 2 also agreed with conviction that these are unattainable. That left me feeling devastated. The skepticism that was rooted in the past experience of my friend's doubt could influence my behavior in adulthood. I found myself hesitant to pursue or share my ambitious goals, fearing that others will not believe in my potential or see my aspirations as attainable. So if important people to us didn't take us seriously in the past, we may unknowingly believe that others will not take us seriously now. So those past experiences quietly shape what we can do now. And so our understanding of them can help us become aware of ourselves and grow personally. Childhood is challenging because it's easy to think it was normal. The everyday things we did in the car, in the kitchen, in the bedroom, and during holidays might seem ordinary without much thought. But during this time, we often don't have anything to compare our experiences to. So we see them as reality instead of distorted versions of our experiences. Now, I'm not saying that we only endure challenges and difficult experiences in our childhood narratives. In the same example I shared about my friend responding with skepticism, casting doubt on my ambitions, there were positive outcomes as well. The skepticism I experienced in adolescence fueled my resilience and determination, driving me to overcome my challenges and prove those skeptics wrong later in my childhood and in adulthood. In fact, this skepticism prompted self-reflection in me, and leading to personal growth, I reassessed my goals and values, and gaining a much clearer understanding of my aspirations, I eventually achieved at least 2 of those goals. So we grow up exploring our external world a lot. Isn't it important for us to also explore our internal world? A place where it's closer to home and help us achieve a sense of true well-being. Without a deeper understanding of our own childhoods, qualifications, financial success, reputation, and even apparent happiness of our own families become unimportant. So if you're an adult and if you've achieved a particular skill, success in a particular skill, it's likely that you've developed or invested time in developing this particular skill. So if you reflect back to your childhood experiences, you can recognize the kind of investment you've made in acquiring this skill. Similarly, if you identify fear in your current behavior, looking back at your childhood can help you identify the source of your fear. Now, if you're an adult in close proximity to children, let's be aware of the experiences we offer and the kind of contribution we make to their lives. And if you're a child, remember to reflect on your present experiences and be mindful of the individuals around you. And transforming those harmful situations to positive ones can make a significant impact on your journey. Remember this again. The adults shape your childhood, and the adults are shaped from their childhood. Let's connect to our childhood experiences. The answers are within you.